My candle burns at both ends, it will not last the night. But ah, my foes, and oh, my friends, it casts a lovely light. So, D&D 5th edition is kinda out now, and as with any entertainment product of our age, it's been scoured by huge numbers of people looking for something, anything, to be upset about. This being a new edition of D&D, there's plenty for people to be upset about if they want to be. Conventionally, this kind of argument would have limited itself to partisan divisions over whether Vancian magic systems are a good idea or not, whether elves should be like Tolkien or ElfQuest, or whether the new edition harks back to days of yore and is of the old school, or the new elements show that it's taking its hints from the indie scene. Not this time. This time, the controversy is over two of the consultants credited in the front of the book, RPG Pundit and Zach, who are apparently evil incarnate and sufficient for some people to worry for their safety, to want to boycott the whole thing and to curl up in the fetal position in a corner somewhere. It has also proved sufficient for people to spread vicious lies about both guys, and by extension their friends and family, and to try and whip up hatred towards them with accusations of homophobia, transphobia, ableism, you name it, it's in there somewhere, which are just so utterly ridiculous they barely deserve mentioning. Except that people do take this stuff seriously, and rumours and bullshit rapidly spread through social media networks and telecommunications far faster than the truth can. This is what has resulted in Pundit and Zach being smeared in the way that they have been, all because they happen to disagree with a few of the new gatekeepers of decency for the gaming hobby. There's other people getting caught in the fallout too, though. Zach's girlfriend Mandy, the rest of the D&D with Pawn Stars crew, who are great people and great ambassadors for gaming, in my opinion. And they're now having to endure anything and everything bad they've ever said in the past, being dragged up all over again with the same old lies. Not that they have said anything bad. I know how this goes because it's happened to me. And both Pundit, who plays an arsehole in the internet for shits and giggles, and Zach, who is a more tenacious and vicious arguer than even I am, they've both defended me in the past, so it's only fair I do the same. I feel honour bound to do so, and even if I didn't feel honour bound to do so, I would be. These claims against them are bullshit, but the specific claims and the specific targets here are only indicative of a much broader problem which lies behind why they're being attacked. Zach and Pundit both have the sheer gall to have different opinions to the self-appointed new gatekeepers of the gaming zeitgeist, and to argue back against them or to take the piss out of them to point out their hypocrisy and the flaws in their arguments. You know, hypocrisy like online bullying, hypocrisy like spreading hateful lies, hypocrisy like baseless boycotts, like harassment and threats. The very kinds of things these people are often complaining about, and that's what makes it both ironic and hypocritical. Hypocrisy like demanding tokenism on convention panels, in artwork, in fiction, in depictions in the books. Hypocrisy in being a far more accomplished censoring group than the conservative religious right, who they claim to hate. Trolling is one thing, but when people genuinely believe what they're saying, even if it's based on nonsense or a difference in priority or taste, that's when they become really scary, because they really believe. On the internet, everything you've ever done, every drunken 4 AM text, every unguarded moment or poorly phrased comment remains, often stripped of context. Every time some new controversy du jour pops up, the same old crap bubbles up again. Every previous argument, every previous debate, every previous accusation, as though they were never dealt with, arises from the depths like some gigantic, self-righteous hydra. It doesn't matter if you've apologised, it doesn't matter if you've debunked the accusations, it doesn't matter at all, it just comes all bubbling up all over again. The problem here is not limited to the gaming world. The entire nerdosphere is suffering from this self-imposed and internalised inquisition, and it's threatening the freedom to be creative, to experiment, to be satirical, to do anything weird, interesting or challenging, for fear that somebody will be offended or upset. It affects everything from cosplay to computer games, from role-playing games, to board games, to comics, to films, everything. This used to be enforced on the basis of things having to be family-friendly, but now it's being enforced to have a reawakened sense of political correctness. And I know I shouldn't use that term because it has so much baggage, but I'm at a loss as to how else to describe it and to be understood. This time it isn't so much about the language. In the new order, you couldn't call someone who was functionally retarded differently abled or even neuroatypical because referring to it at all seems to be what the problem is, even though it's clearly an issue that will need to be addressed at some point. There's these demands for safe spaces, which are spreading out to any public space within our extended and diverse community. The demands for anti-harassment policies that go far beyond anything resembling actual harassment and into community standards and censorship, whatever the fuck community standards means. If anyone has ever held a heretical opinion at any point in their life or said something someone didn't like, they're now persona non grata, and should they work on a project, be invited to present an award, anything really, then social media outrage machines start up, and unfortunately people keep listening to it without checking on it. And then people are forced to react to it, and they make poor short-term decisions that end up censoring people. It doesn't seem to matter if you actually are safe or not. What matters is if you feel safe. Feeling safe is so nebulous that even simply being credited as consultants on a project is enough for some people to claim that they don't feel safe in the D&D community, which is ridiculous. Is evil now a transitive property? Does the fact that someone you don't like looked over and gave feedback on a document make the document itself unacceptable? Does it warrant a boycott? If you read it, does that now make you evil? What if either guy worked in a supermarket? Would the strange evil rays that somehow shoot out of their eyes render all the food inedible according to your particular political orthodoxy? Does the fact that grandma is a horrible, horrible racist make her cookies taste any less good? No. No, it doesn't. These are rhetorical questions. I've never seen either guy say or do anything that wasn't run-of-the-mill arsehole-ish, in that they lose their temper with idiots, and in Pundit's case he winds people up and that's his whole internet persona. But the idea that either of them are homophobic, racist, transphobic, or whatever else is laughable. I mean, Zach, here is a man who's entangled in both the porn and art communities, who has his girlfriend's medical conditions tattooed on his skin, and you want to call him an ableist or a social Darwinist? Are you high? Anyone who makes these accusations must be so far gone from reality. I don't know what to make of it anymore. Something has to change here. Any creative community, commercial or not, cannot survive without some risk-taking and experimentation, without tackling difficult and uncomfortable topics. Free expression must include difficult ideas, and ideas that run contrary to our personal beliefs, or it's just not worth having. Free speech includes icky speech, and this environment with its self-appointed commissars and gatekeepers is not conducive to good games, good fiction, good film, or a good community. Ironically, it's the people arguing for diversity and inclusion who are wiping out diversity, intelligence, maturity, and art. I think it's high time we had a decent pushback against this. We already are an inclusive community, and have been since the beginning. It's perfectly possible for different kinds of entertainment and viewpoint to live alongside each other without either screwing it up for the other. You can have Starbarians and diversity kittens at the same time. Just don't buy and don't play what you don't like a normal person would, without turning it into a massive issue on the basis of nothing. If you truly believe in your cause, and there are truths to some of these causes, make your own stuff. Prove that it works with your success. Prove that there's a market for it. Expand our horizons by showing it can be done. To paraphrase Cindy Gallop, don't ban, disrupt. Leave other people to make what they love, play what they love, and do what they love, and do your own thing in your own way, and see how well it does, because that is the best possible argument you can make. More stuff, not less stuff. That serves everybody, and nobody in this is evil. Just human. Peace.